Hello there everyone, it's Miss Polcik here, and tonight you're going to be taking a few notes on what to expect of the routines and procedures in Humanities class. You are going to need your routines document that you received last week, so please make sure you have a copy of that in front of you. You're also going to need a pen or a pencil. Just a heads up guys, I am going to be speaking fairly quickly throughout this video, so at any time if you need to pause the video to jot down some notes, please feel free to do that and then just begin the video back up. Again, what I would like you to do as you're listening is I want you to capture the big ideas. You don't need to write down every single point that's listed on the screen, just something that's going to help you to remember what to do as the routine for that activity. Right, here we go. So the first routine that we went over as a class was how to enter the classroom. As a reminder, you'll be lining up single file outside of T3. You're going to line up outside of the railing on the ramp instead of on the ramp itself, and you're going to be facing the construction. You're going to greet me as you walk in. Remember, I love to get a fist bump, look me in the eye, say good morning, good afternoon, hi, how are you? And then of course, as soon as you enter into the door, you want to look immediately to your right and see if there are any materials that are stacked on that small table by the telephone. If there are any materials, you want to take one, make sure that you're not leaving a mess at that table or knocking over things, but take one of each paper that might be on that table and then go ahead and quietly and quickly sit in your assigned seat. And then you immediately want to work on the do now. Remember, the do now will always be projected onto the whiteboard. So look at what the directions are, read them silently to yourself, and begin following those directions. You really should do this without any prompting from me. When you're exiting the classroom, you want to remember that the bell nor the clock dismiss you. I dismiss you. So I'm going to politely and respectfully ask that everyone wait to pack up their materials until I've instructed you to do so. Usually about 2 minutes prior to class ending, I'll go ahead and instruct you guys to pack up your materials, make sure that you've written down the homework, take a picture of the homework board if that's necessary, and to make sure that you've cleaned the area around you. Once again, I dismiss you, not the bell nor the clock, so I will look around each group table to make sure your area is completely clean, that you haven't left any trash on the floor, and then I'll be dismissing groups by table. Once your group is dismissed, please go ahead and push in your chair, and again, say goodbye to me. Signing out. There may be times once you're in class that you need to sign out of class for some reason. It could be to go see the school nurse. It could be to go down to the office, to go to another classroom, to go to the library, to go to the restroom. Anytime you're going to leave the classroom, you must sign out. So the sign out board is over on the back wall, or I should say the side wall. It's by our door. The clipboard says hall pass. If you are going to be signing out, you need to print your name, where you're going to be going, what time you leave, and then when you return, what time you return back. And then you need to take the appropriate hall pass. Remember, whatever pass you bring or you take with you, I want you to make sure that you bring it back. The other important thing to remember is that you must exit and re-enter quietly. Only one student may use the bathroom at a time. Please do not abuse your bathroom privileges. If I start to see a trend that you are going to the bathroom every single day and not utilizing your before school break time and lunchtime to use the restroom, then we'll have to have a one-on-one conversation. Bathroom passes will not be granted the first or last 10 minutes of class. Again, I want you to really utilize the time that you're given before school break, lunch, to go and use the restroom. Tardy. Hopefully you will never be tardy, but in the event that you are tardy, you do want to make sure that you've signed in. Remember that our school policy is that you are technically tardy to a class if you are not in your seat when the bell rings. That's not the first bell, that's the second bell. So running up the ramp, running towards me, that does not count as being on time. You actually need to be physically in the door and in your seat working on the do now. Otherwise, you are considered to be tardy. So If you are tardy, you want to quietly enter into the room. You should not be a distraction to the rest of the class. You want to get your materials and you want to sign the clipboard that's labeled tardy. You will owe me a 5-minute detention if the tardy was not an excused tardy. If the tardy is an excused tardy, for example, you maybe had a dental appointment and you're coming to class late, or let's say you had to stay in at another class and speak with a teacher, you need to make sure that you're bringing me a note signed by that teacher or signed by the office saying that you do have an excused tardy. Otherwise, you will owe me a 5-minute detention. As a reminder, this year the BIS administration is going to be pulling tardy reports on a weekly basis and seeing if there are any students that are chronically having tardy issues. If that's the case, they will ask to speak with you in the office. Getting absent work. I would love to say that none of us are ever going to get sick, but that is impossible. We do get sick sometimes and you can't prevent that, or there may be times when your family needs you to be someplace and you can't prevent being out from work. If you are absent, it is your responsibility to make up any work that we did in class. An absent from class could even be maybe you're in the office not feeling good, you're still absent from the class, you need to make up that assignment or any work that we did during that class period when you were out. So the first and kind of easiest thing to do is to check School Loop and see if there's any work that you could complete before you come back to class. That way you don't feel behind. You could talk to a friend who could update you on what happened in class, call one of your study buddies, text them, email them, see if they can fill you in on what we were doing. When you do return to class, you want to take a look at the while you were out binder. This binder is divided into 3 sections, one section for my first, second period, another section for my third, fourth period, and the last section for my fifth and sixth period class. Each week I fill out information in that binder. I list who is absent from the class, what we did during the class day, what materials you would need, if there were any kind of notes or assessments that we took. So it's a really quick place for you to get an idea of what we did each day in class. Also, the red pocket chart on the wall will have any copies of the materials, and that pocket chart is divided up by days. So you'll see any of the materials for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you want to check both of those things. Classroom library. Over the years, I've collected many books that I think that students will enjoy reading, and I want to encourage you to browse the classroom library and check out a book at any time. If you decide to check out a book, you will want to sign out the book in the binder. And then when you return the book, I'm actually going to ask that you physically return the book to me, meaning I want you to hand me the book. I don't want you to put it back onto the shelf. If you sign a book out, you should be handing me the book when you return it. After you've handed me the book, when you return it, I'll go over to the binder, I'll find your name, and I'll cross your name off the binder. Extra copies. I know how sometimes our backpacks will get crowded, or sometimes we might drop a paper somewhere. So there may be times when you need an extra copy of a handout that I've given you. If you need an extra copy, you should go to the red pocket chart on the wall and again look for the handout for those days of the weeks. If you don't see the handout in there, you can ask me. Maybe I've already filed it away. Unfortunately, I only make so many copies though, so if I'm out of copies, I'm not necessarily going to be able to give you a new copy immediately. You might have to wait a day or two for me to make an additional copy for you. Getting supplies. Thanks to the generous donations of several students who have donated to our classroom supplies. We have markers, highlighters, scissors, crayons, colored pencils, tape, pencil sharpeners, hole puncher, stapler, pencils, pens. If at any time you need some supplies because you've forgotten something or you're needing it for an assignment, you do not need to ask me permission. You just need to quietly get up, Please don't distract anybody. Get the supplies that you need. And then if you have any supplies to return later, make sure that you return it. And you should return it, and it should be neat, stacked. Things shouldn't be falling all over the place or flying out of any boxes. So please just in general keep the be responsible rule of thumb. I want you to be able to use the materials. They're there for you to use, but just make sure that you're being responsible. If you need any resources like a dictionary, a thesaurus, a writing guide, a history textbook to refer to, in the back corner you'll notice that we have a shelf of reference materials that I welcome and encourage you to use at any time as well. Sharing ideas. This is a class entirely about communication, so I do want you to share your ideas. But we do need to respect everybody's ideas, and we need to make sure that everybody's voice gets heard. So with that being said, I will ask that you raise your hand and avoid interrupting or talking over anybody else. Using technology. We will use technology a lot this year in 8th grade humanities. As a reminder, your device must be screened down and at the top corner of your table. Your device should either be in your bag or it should look like this on your table at all times, unless I give you permission to go ahead and use your device. If I see that you are misusing your device, you and I will have a conversation. If it continues to persist, we will have a conference with you, your family, and myself, and perhaps the BIS administration team, and we'll discuss if you are responsible enough to continue using your technology in the classroom. Also, as a reminder, the sound on your device must be turned off. You should be doing this really as soon as the bell rings to go to homeroom. And once again, just as a reminder, only actively use your devices when instructed. If you are having an emergency and you are needing to get in contact with your family members, please let me know as soon as possible, and I'll make sure that you have access to contact your family. Working in groups. Again, you'll be working in groups throughout the year. When you are working in groups, it is your responsibility to contribute ideas. All people need to participate in groups. I don't want to just see 1 or 2 people participating. And you also need to allow all voices to be heard and respect all ideas. Missing work. In the event that you do not have a homework assignment complete when it is due, you want to make sure that you complete a yellow missing work form. That form is located in a chart on the wall over by the window. You must turn in something whenever we have an assignment due. So you're either turning in the actual assignment or you're turning in a missing work form, but I need to receive something from every single person in the class. If you decide that you would like to use one of your 2 homework passes for the trimester, you are going to mention that on your missing work form, and you'll also fill out the clipboard that's labeled homework pass. Homework passes are something that we started doing a few years back here at BIS. Each student is allotted 2 homework passes for the class, and that's for each trimester. So each trimester you'll get 2 more homework passes. They don't roll over, unfortunately. So if you decide that you want to use a homework pass, again, you have to complete a yellow missing work form. You're going to have to fill out the clipboard that says homework pass on it. And you need to remember that the homework pass just allows you a 1-day extension, a 1 school day extension. So if you missed an assignment that was due on Tuesday, it allows you to turn in the assignment on Wednesday without any deduction in points. It does not allow you to turn in the assignment a week later without a deduction of points. So please make sure that you're using those homework passes sparingly and when you really need it in an emergency. Almost done here, guys. Late work and absent work. If you have late work, whether you're using a homework pass or not, or if you have absent work, I'm going to ask that you physically hand your work in to me. I don't want you putting it on my desk. I don't want you putting it in a folder or tray. I want you to actually physically hand the assignment to me. If the assignment was completed online, then you need to see me before or after class to show me that the assignment is complete. Please do not do it in the middle of class. And last but not least, trash and recycling. We want to take care of this place. By taking care of our classroom, we want to be responsible enough to throw away our trash and recycle whenever possible. So please pick up after yourself. If you see trash on the floor, pick it up. If there's any trash near you, again, do the right thing. Please help take care of this place and pick up any trash that you see. If you have any paper, plastic, cardboard, aluminum, you can go ahead and recycle that. Please do not put things that are